Well, I went back into my archives and I pulled out one of my first monologues I delivered to you, an ode to the country of the blind. But today, it deserves revision. We're entering a chapter where whole nations are willingly blinding themselves together. This doesn't happen overnight. It starts with a mindset, and a mindset of demand. You see, they demand to be right. They insist you are wrong. It's not about political party. It's a psychological, godless need for control. Either control over you or control over how the world should be in their eyes. In H.G. Wells's short story, The Country of the Blind, the protagonist, Nunez, discovers a remote mountain village where all are born blind. In the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king, he recalls. Nunez tries to lead the villagers. Instead, they dismiss him. They, the blind, deem him, the sighted, a madman. So Nunez gives up. He tries to assimilate, but in a strange twist, the blind villagers refuse to accept him unless he gives up his unstable obsession with sight. The villagers in this short story decide they must rid Nunez of his eyes, and Nunez, in love with one of the village girls, agrees to let them gouge out his eyes in the morning. Ladies and gentlemen, global Soros-backed left have diseased their eyes, and they are demanding to gouge out yours, whether you agree or not. What about 86 genders and sex education to toddlers? You have an unstable obsession over what we teach our kids.
My name's Teacher Green, and something I like about my classroom is that my students built the trans flag last year. We have the pleasure of reading a book called Melissa about a transgender fourth grade girl, and it was very impactful for all of us. Afterwards, we built the trans flag using the shapes of our hands, blue, pink, and white paint, and of course, glue.
What crisis? What crisis? You have an unstable obsession over open borders.
Children presenting at our border who are fleeing violence, who are fleeing prosecution, who are fleeing terrible situations is not a crisis.
For years, they denied, and forced more down the throat of your communities. What inflation? The economy is the best it has ever been in all history.
Employment rate has been below 4% for nearly 2 straight years. That means this is the best jobs market in America since the 1960s. Jobs numbers under President Joe Biden are better than every single year of job numbers under President Donald Trump.
And just like the villagers in Wells's tale, dare to take a different position or dare to reframe their worldview, and your membership in the tribe of society hangs by a thread. Remember the pandemic? Grandmas jailed in Europe for not wearing a mask while pedophiles were set free? What about your vaccine status? Remember that? Remember those horrific comply or die stories? Hospitals denying life-saving treatments from the unvaccinated? Masks, of course, have since proven ineffective, but you have DoD whistleblowers yet to elicit a response from the Pentagon over the massive spikes in adverse health events of our military service members from vaccine injuries. You weren't supposed to see or remember any of that. The world, divided clearly into two sides then, is divided like that now. Those who blinded themselves at the altar of unquestioned authority, and those who were chided, derided, and persecuted for refusing to gouge out critical thought. This division is even more sinister today.
For all our viewers asking where One America News is heading in the future, we would like to introduce you to OAN Live. OAN Live is the best way to stay up to date on all of the hard-hitting, straight-shooting, national and international headlines. And the best part is, OAN Live is only $4.99 per month. All the credible, honest, unbiased reporting One America News offers at a fraction of the cost of cable. Just go to OANN.com to easily sign up for OAN Live and stay informed.